What?
Okay. That's it. We'll bring
Yes.
down here.
Hey, David.
Yeah.
You're on the internet.
Hello and welcome to Family RPG. I'm David Leonard, your Game Master, playing the final adventure of Star Trek Adventures. If you notice, the title is called The Shepherd. If you followed the past 2 episodes, we've gone back in time because we have the regular ship back. What is it called?
Saratoga.
Saratoga. Saratoga. And
This is the other side of the wormhole we fell in. We didn't know where it ended up.
We were in a
Now,
Klingon
see,
ship
we
before.
got to have all of our current memories of all we went through, and now all of a sudden we're back. How did we get here?
no, you don't remember any of that stuff.
We
This
don't
happened
remember?
beforehand.
Didn't
This
remember
happened
that.
beforehand.
Oh,
We're kind of like,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
I like the idea of remembering. But go ahead.
We're in reruns. This isn't previously aired episodes you didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We got syndicated. All right.
Captain's
That's
Law.
what you could call it. Syndicate.
We recently assisted the colonists of Stalis 4, or Stalis 2.
Oh, wait. Can you just get our plans right?
Stalis 2. This is SETI Alpha 5.
We're gonna
By
have.
supplying
Good
a range
callback,
of new excavation equipment, allowing them to greatly speed up their expansion underground. While demonstrating the new technology, a new type of mineral was discovered that displays some unusual properties. We relayed our findings to Starfleet Command, who dispatched a science ship to Stalis 2 to conduct further tests.
That's us.
But
Yeah.
before we had left the system, we received a distress call from the colony.
Oh.
The person recording this distress signal appears to be crouched down behind an overturned table. Phaser bursts explode over her head as she desperately alternates between talking to the camera and briefly peering over her cover to return fire. She passes on the following information. Please, you must come back and help us. Something has turned some of the colonists mad. They attacked us in our sleep. We've managed to make our way to the surface. We've managed to barricade ourselves in the arrival center planetside, but I don't know how long we can hold out. We have many wounded and we need urgent assistance, please. I don't know why they say we've managed to twice, but I guess someone didn't bother to.
Yeah.
Any wounded and we need urgent assistance, please.
Oh, neat.
What is this?
A live stream of a live stream?
Yes. Okay. So I muted that.
Okay.
It said we had nobody watching though, but I'm logged in downstairs, so I don't know what's up with that.
What is up with that?
What is up? Anyways.
Oh, I'm watching it. Didn't know. You didn't know.
Oh, what the other
Go
one?
on, continue.
Okay. Starfleet orders you to round up the survivors, evacuate them back to your ship, and then try to peacefully defuse the situation and ascertain why these 2 groups are separated. Starfleet advises you to remain unbiased until you have all the information and completed a full investigation.
We're always unbiased. Anyway, let's analyze and from the report that the colonists have gone mad.
Oh, it's
we
funny
can analyze
because
it.
after the captain's log, which says that it was Stalis 2, the rest of it says it was Stellus 2.
Stellus?
Stellus.
Stella 2. Okay, that's where we are.
So if you have any complaints on things just suddenly
Oh,
changing,
maybe.
they do just seriously just suddenly change out of the blue.
Oh, okay. Let's go. Keeps it interesting. So let's see if we scan for any kind of radiation or strange anomalies down there that would cause people to.
Why don't you do an insight and science check? Difficulty of 1.
Using what?
That's not me. It'd be someone else.
Sensors or
Yes, that's it.
sensors? That'd be me.
Maybe.
Okay.
I always forget if it's sensors and computers. I know I get the reroll. That's the reroll. Alright. It's free reroll. 2 successes. And unless anything applies, quantum physics, temporal physics,
No.
Starfleet protocol. There's a protocol for sensor use.
So on the surface, Stellus 2 is a desolate, harsh planet, a gray, mountainous landscape with a cold wind tearing through the canyons and across the barren surface, lacking vegetation of any kind. It's little wonder the colonists have decided to move underground. Surface side, there are a few buildings of standard civilian design, a landing pad for shuttlecraft, an arrival center for visitors, a monitoring outpost, and a large complex that houses the entrance into the underground settlement.
What type of class planet is it?
It's M class, at least as far as breathable atmosphere. It's just harsh weather conditions.
Vegetation?
Underground.
That's weird.
Huh? Not. Is this the whole planet is a desert?
Yes.
Are there little makers? Is that what's generating the oxygen? Do I have to walk without rhythm?
Yeah.
You know, attract the worm.
Exactly.
Anyways, underground is a far more welcoming environment. The colonists have done a very good job of creating a habitable environment capable, indeed, throughout much of the town. There's a little rock face on display, with most of the walls covered in beautiful murals of modern art. High ceilings are bathed in bright light during the day and shrouded in darkness at night to keep its citizens comfortable. There are numerous statues on each street intersection sitting atop little islands of grass and flowers. Now I need an insight security check with difficulty of 1.
Do I need to roll that too?
I'm 12.
I mean, how insightful are you?
I've got 12.
I'm 13.
I am 12.
Actually. I'm
Oh,
13.
well, hey,
I'm 13.
I will assist him.
Okay.
I succeed.
I don't.
Well, that's 1.
Okay, I got the one.
The registered population of, in this paragraph, it's Stalis again instead of Stellas.
All right.
Well, let's just get out our stylus.
2 different readers.
According to
right.
records, sits at 137, governed by a small council, of which the main leader is called Anthony Simmons. Security is handled by local militia, with most of the adult colonists armed to some extent, as they have encountered no other life forms on the planet and live in relative security being underground. Combat is something the colonists aren't used to. They've been there for coming close to 5 years, in which time they've made a remarkable progress in developing their civilization underground.
There was a comment about being 2 different factions. How is these divided by jobs, political thing? What's the division?
Insight and command, difficulty of 1.
I got 11.
I've got 11.
I'll do.
You do.
Maybe one success.
I'll
maybe.
assist you. Why
Alright,
not?
Thank you.
Dude.
One success.
Okay. The survivors who sent the distress signal are barricaded in the arrival center. A corridor leads from the center to a large building that houses the entrance to the colony underground. Another corridor leads away from the center and the landing pad to the landing pad for the shuttlecraft. There still seems to be some combat, but since their show is not as chaotic as it was when the signal was originally sent. Looks like the attackers have briefly fallen back underground to recuperate before launching a new assault. It is possible to talk to the survivors as they have control of communications equipment. They advise you that they have roughly 40 people they need to evacuate, 10 of which are wounded and need urgent medical attention. Unfortunately, there have been several deaths since the distress signal was first sent, and atmospheric conditions are worsening.
Can we beam up the initial 10?
It's going to be a difficulty of 4 due to atmospheric conditions.
We'd be able to transport down first some answers.
Well,
They-
what is it to beam down?
Same difficulty. They recommend shuttlecrafts is a lot easier.
So did we come down in a shuttlecraft then, or did we transport down?
You haven't done either
We
yet.
haven't got down. Okay, we're on the way. Okay.
You're still just contacting them through.
Okay. We went into so much detail about the environment. I thought we were already, standing there.
No,
Okay.
no. Your sensors and
Still
your
didn't answer the question is what is this division? They mentioned 2 different factions. What separates these people? Some of them workers and some of them...
They're all workers. They're all miners, engineers. Some even just civilians.
Yeah.
We don't know yet what the division is.
No.
Why there's separation.
Okay.
Right.
Why some went mad.
No, not that, but I mean...
The one you were talking to, his name is Sheriff Shipley.
Oh.
All right. Well, I guess.
Sheriff Shipley?
Sorry,
One
Sarah
is-
Shipley.
Sarah
I
Shipley.
did too many H's in there. Sarah Shipley.
Uh-huh.
Do we want to use our momentum to take some pattern enhancers with us
That seems prudent.
and then just fly down?
Yeah.
Okay. How's that work? We spend the
Control and
momentum,
engineering with the pattern enhancers would be a difficulty of 3.
but we need to get them down there.
Yeah, we need to fly down first. So
Okay.
is there going to be a check
So
for
we're
me to
going
fly?
down in the
So you're just gonna
So use
it's gonna
momentum
be,
to get the pattern.
control and con difficulty of 2.
Okay, control con.
Mm-hmm.
16 for me. That's 2 successes.
Okay.
Okay.
So you successfully fly down.
Cool.
Yeah.
We used momentum, the one momentum that we have, in order to bring down enhancers with us.
Okay.
Get that benefit. And then
Do we really have
try
to
and
use
link it up and
momentum
beam
then?
them up. We're going to get back up to the ship.
They already get special equipment.
Oh.
Do you want to talk to them first while you're down here, or?
First thing we need to do is get the wounded taken care of.
All
So
right.
you should probably triage first.
Ah. Okay.
You're good at that.
Are you injured? You're going to tell me! Interrogation for triage.
There you go.
Where does it hurt?
Yeah. It's gonna be daring and medicine difficulty of 2.
Daring and medicine. All right. Let me see here. Oh, I agree. Daring my leaves. Medicine by 1.
I will assist you.
Routine.
Oh,
2 success.
1 success.
Okay.
So we got 3
That's
success.
3.
You
I'm very
stabilize a couple of them, at least the
Uh-huh.
ones that are in really critical condition.
Okay.
It's small enough that you can beam them
Now
back
we can
forward.
beam on board. Beam on
Okay. How many can we be aboard at one time with the enhancers?
Uh,
At least
in
6.
order to beam up everybody, it's going to be 5 rotations.
Okay.
Well, I guess I'll get started.
There you go. With the workload?
Yes.
So each one of those is going to be
Who wants to talk and who wants to assist me?
control and engineering difficulty of 3.
I'm 13 for that.
I got 12.
So I'll assist you. You talk.
You
to people.
talk. We beam.
You interrogate nicely.
Okay.
So for the first round,
Okay, it'll be all right. These machines don't destroy you when they
2
pick you up.
successes here.
1 success.
So that's 3.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the first setup.
2 people
Yep,
up.
4 more to go.
3 successes.
No.
Okay, 3 more to go.
I'm assuming I can use transporters.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's not good. No complications, but
It's control and engineering, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got 1.
yeah, I got 2 fails.
Oh.
We have 1 momentum.
You can
Well,
reroll
that'd
one
mean I'd
die.
have to get under a 5. Let's do it.
Good.
We're gonna save people.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. Try again. Nothing happens.
Okay.
So it wasn't a critical fail, it's not like you beamed them into
All right.
pieces or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
They turned inside out and exploded.
I got a 1.
So you
Okay.
get 2 successes.
2 successes here.
Oh, give
So
her
So we got our momentum back. Hey.
Yay!
All right. All right. So
2 more
you get
sets.
2 more.
There's some dust in the machinery.
Yeah.
4 successes.
Yeah, I was
Cool.
there.
So I guess get another momentum.
Yep.
Okay. And
Oh, and another 1. So
2 successes here.
Okay. 1 more momentum.
okay.
Who would have
And
thought
everybody's
that
up.
beaming would go.
Swimmingly.
So Sarah tells you it was the morning after that they opened the newest section of the colony, the botanical area. There'd been a party and an unveiling of a new statue the night before, but many had turned in early. The first
what did they turn
danger-
into?
No, bed.
They turned into
Sleep.
beds.
Sleep. The first danger she
I
encountered
need to giggle.
when the colony alarm burst to life, she opened her door to see fighting in the streets. Those unwilling to get caught up in this made their way to the arrival center, picking up others on the way. As they progressed, the fighters soon turned on them. During conversations, she says she's legitimately unaware of what has started the fighting at this point, and she believes in someone called the Shepherd, and is sure it is the Shepherd's intervention that brought you to Status 2 so quickly.
Okay.
Anyway.
Can I look through the computer records for the base for any mentions of the Shepherd?
It's gonna be a control security difficulty of 3.
Oh, that's me. One success. And we use 1 momentum to re-roll this because it was 19.
Okay.
Maybe I should be assisting you.
Sure, it's 2 successes now.
It's on a computer, I get an extra die.
Yeah.
And a free reroll. 1 success. 2 successes.
So total 4. Alright.
Okay.
Mentions of this shepherd seem to coincide with the new mineral that they discounted. They said in the captain's log.
Coincides with new mineral?
Yes.
The shepherd is the mineral, or the shepherd is the one who found the mineral? What's the
Do we dare annoy David and spend the momentum for more information? Because this is being made up on the spot, I see.
No. It's just how much of this do I reveal?
Well, clearly we need to spend momentum.
Well, we're
Yes.
looking at the computer, so I'd say reveal all.
we momentum more information?
Okay. That's actually not supposed to happen until chapter 2.
Yeah.
That it will be the first time we broke one of these games.
These
I
games
mean,
are
they
broken
can't even
from
get
the
their
start.
spelling
If
right.
it's in the computer and you have the access to it, you should be have the information.
Why don't we discharge that
That's
thing?
Yeah.
You blew a hole in the ceiling, huh?
Yeah, sound came from here.
Yeah.
Okay. There were geological findings
Okay.
that, as they were digging earlier, they came across some type of stone that actually broke their digging equipment.
Okay.
And over time, that they believe this has been like a good luck charm of sorts. The fact that they build this statue in the main arrival area, and
So the stone, apparently they didn't get any of the stone because it was.
they actually carved some of this mineral out, and
They carved around it.
and yeah, carved around it,
Yeah.
and have called it the shepherd's eye, and have put it in this statue.
But
How
they
big
broke
is the
their
stone?
equipment. How did they break the stone? They must have used phasers on it or something? Doesn't indicate how they put it.
Well, I mean, they
Stronger
had to,
than
they had to
diamond.
basically they generally make modifications to their equipment to
Yeah.
continue digging. At this point,
Okay.
whatever this mineral is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shepherd's eye.
Can we get to the statue?
What?
Yes, you can see the statue. Make
Can we
a.
analyze the statue's eye?
With my portable electron microscope.
Hey,
to
Zach,
get-
that's one question. Did you bring that with you?
Yeah.
Yes.
These guys are
Inside
everywhere.
science, difficulty of 3.
It's in his hip pocket, you
Insight Science difficulty 3.
Mm-hmm.
You want to assist him with that?
know.
You're better than me.
Good, I'm 11.
Yeah. I'm 8, so no. That's the worst you can get. Oh, yeah.
That's 1.
I got 1.
Pitch of momentum for 1 extra.
Yeah.
Ah!
Uh,
Do we have 2 momentum there?
we got
Yeah.
1.
Yep.
We want
One more.
One more. Oh, so I can't do another reroll.
Yeah.
I looked at his
Well,
focuses that he doesn't
yeah.
have one that would be applicable.
Not unless
Well-
quantum or temporal on my side.
Unless it's
no,
athletics.
No.
Or xenobiology.
We're interrogating the statue.
It's the mineral alive.
Is it actually a changeling? Petrified?
You don't know.
Can we analyze it with our...
Wait
Oh,
a
yeah,
minute,
yeah,
did I just
yeah.
catch something there?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Because there have been times I like said things, and they're like,
So we don't sense
That's what it was.
anything obvious, like a radiation or something coming off this.
Well, just by generally looking at the statue, it seems to be like deformed, especially around the face and where this eye would have been. The eye that they say that they carved out to make the statue is
Yeah.
no longer there.
It's not there.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
But then we can't analyze it. If it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one eye? They didn't do both eyes.
They didn't do both eyes. They just had one.
Just one eye. So
Mhm.
where's do they asking them where the stone went?
Presence and command. Difficulty of 3.
Yeah.
oh, 13 for me.
Okay.
8.
Yeah, and you.
And third 12.
You want to assist me? Sure.
Yeah. Success.
That's actually
You got 2
13.
successes.
Well, that's a 14. I got 13. So
Yeah.
I still have 2 successes. Yeah.
We got 3
Okay.
successes.
Talking with Sarah Shipley about this, she's kind of reluctant to begin a theological discussion, but that she believes that the shepherd's eye is a representation of a god in any real sense that can exist in this galaxy.
But
It
no,
looks
we weren't
after her
asking-
and they call it.
That wasn't the question. The question was, where's the eye now? It was not in the statue.
Spin a momentum?
What?
That was the initial question. We were
That was
trying
Yeah,
to
the
do
you're
question.
spinning a momentum to find out.
Oh, gee.
He's taking us away
That
from
was-
us.
That was the first question.
Yes.
And she doesn't answer the question directly. Sounds like a politician.
The shepherd's eye is in a satchel already aboard your vessel as you...
What?
Satchel?
Yes,
You
one
mean-
of the colonists that you beamed aboard.
Oh.
Took it. Oh, Peachy.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to go up to our ship and have them
Quarantine that,
quarantine this person with the satchel.
Just contact security. We should be able to do
Contact
that.
security.
Yeah. Security.
As far as you can tell, the survivors you beamed aboard have very little of personal belongings. Most are even barely dressed, considering how suddenly the fight broke out.
They're in their pajamas.
Even one of the children has clutching a teddy bear. It's like you just did innocent.
Scan the teddy bear.
Yeah.
Then we should know. We should know immediately identify the person
You
with
could
the
hide
satchel.
things in dolls.
The satchel must be put into a under quarantine itself and in containment.
We did that. That's
Just in
like
case. Analyzing.
Okay.
So we-
we have the crew up top, then analyze it while we're down here.
Okay. They're not sure who has it, because a lot of people have satchels.
Search each one individually. Get them several feet away from each other, so they can't just pass it off one to another.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk to the other guy who's still down on the planet? Because you just beamed off the initial group with Sarah. There's the other guy, Anthony.
And
Are they the ones that did the attacking?
They're the ones who did the attacking. Yes.
Okay.
You want to talk to them?
We'll talk to him, yeah.
And
Thanks for
they have
that.
stopped attacking once you arrived, and are kind of just
Okay.
when you talk to Anthony, he believes, at least he tells you, that it's the other group who started the fight, and that he also has injured that need medical attention.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Are they as equally injured, or
Not as much, but there are still.
What does he know about this eye?
He believes that Sarah's group were trying to harm the shepherd's eye in some way.
Does he know who took the eye out and put it in the satchel?
No. He knows that someone took it from her group, and that he just wants it returned to the statue.
Can he make another one? The rock's apparently still down there.
He's not entirely sure. He believes that even with the absence of the shepherd's eye, that the shepherd will continue to watch over them.
Then why are they fighting?
Because he thinks that the other group is trying to damage the eye, and if you ask Sarah about it, she'll say the same thing. No, Anthony's group started this fight, and they're the ones that were trying to take the eye. We're just trying to protect it.
They're all crazy. Where's the knockout gas? Just shut this whole thing down.
Captain's log supplemental.
have they found the eye yet?
No.
It is unclear at this stage where this sudden aggression has originated from, but we intend to get to the bottom of the matter quickly. While we have stopped the fighting for now, we need to investigate both sides to determine what has caused the matter and how to resolve it. It's apparent at this stage we are not being told the full story.
And what's the name of this planet?
Yeah, Stellus or Stellas.
There we go. It's the different groups.
Yes.
They both named it differently.
Okay.
So you know who's writing it when you read it in here. You're like, oh, the other one.
Okay.
Do they have sensors comparable to a basic shipboard sensors in the colony?
No, they're mostly mining equipment.
Well, they must have some sort of analyzing equipment for the ore. See what grade
They
the
know
ore
what they
is.
have, yeah.
They have to grade their ore.
Okay, if you want to do a reason plus science or medicine task with a difficulty of 2.
Reason plus medicine. Well, I got that one.
He's your man. I got 9.
2 successes.
Okay. There's
You want to assist him on that so we get some
Sure,
momentum
I'll
back?
assist
That'd be
with
great.
science.
the people you've had in sickbay.
1.
Okay, so we have momentum back. Thank you.
Okay.
The
Yes.
people you had in sickbay, damage has been caused by something manipulating the minerals in their brains.
Ah.
Magneto.
Okay.
But the colonists who have been searched at this point, they finally did find the Shepherd's Eye and have sealed it away. But now that they've been searched and apparently have no notion of combat or anything, they didn't really want to fight down on the planet anyways. But they've been kind of going around from place to place just talking about the Shepherd, encouraging people like, hey, have you heard about the Shepherd? A good Shepherd has been saving us and brought you here. You should, yeah.
Could we create a facsimile of what the eye looks like, have that replicated, and give that back to them with the claim that it is the Shepherd's Eye? So it's not the same material.
Well, if we have it, can we start analyzing? I mean, we have advanced sensors on this ship. It should be able to tell us something.
This is true. And advanced research facilities.
There we go.
Ah, yeah.
And advanced shields, but that should hopefully come into play in this situation. I
Well,
hope.
but to determine its not necessarily composition, but something unique about the material, we can be able to scan the planet and determine where this other deposit is. If there's more of them.
I'm going with organic rock creatures.
Hey!
Do an insight plus science task with a difficulty of 1.
I'll do that.
Science.
You assist him on that.
You're basically going over your investigation of the statue.
Are we using our research lab?
Yes.
It's difficulty 0.
Let's see. Didn't make it.
That's success for me.
Okay. Nope.
So we get momentum because we have an advanced research. Science vessels. We
So-
can't shoot, but
As part of your examination of the Shepherd's Eye, it also includes the statue that it was placed in. The statue's structure has been oddly manipulated at a molecular level. Its fabric twisted and pulled in unusual formations. You pick up many different elements: magnesium, iron, zinc, copper, as well as glass. Many different stones and other minerals. You also notice hairline cracks in the rock, as if some force of some kind of wave has been affecting it. And you also notice that the hairline tears are similar to the cuts and bruises of the colonists.
Huh.
As if their molecular structure, the minerals in their body have been manipulated the same way the statue has.
can I tell from the distance between the cracks what the wavelength of the energy is?
That's the thing.
Well,
Success!
Broke the game.
How many microns?
What is the nanometer wavelength of this?
Oh, just get a frequency analyzer out.
What's that going to tell you?
It'll tell me the type of radiation it is on the electromagnetic spectrum.
It's not irradiated.
Has to give it off
it's
some
obviously
sort of
emitting
energy.
some sort of.
It is energy, but it's not radiation.
No.
It,
All forms of energy have a wavelength on the
Okay.
spectrum.
Okay.
radio waves, light waves, heat waves.
I hate this mission. It does not prepare me for the people I play with. It really doesn't.
Don't go through a guy that
It's
just went to
for-
astronomy and learned about the spectroscopy.
Star Trek is for science nerds.
Yes. But then they don't go into detail for people who are especially nerdy.
The answer is they're not uniform enough to tell you.
They're not uniform enough to
Woohoo! Thank you.
say. Okay.
But I made the GM groan.
I think you should get a point of.
I just got 6th thread added to the pool.
You get a point of momentum. I'll be nice.
Can I spend it on obtaining information?
No.
Okay.
Ugh.
So we've determined there's some sort of energy coming out of this thing.
You realize we
We
just
need
got
to-
the intro. It's magic, right?
We need
pretty
to-
much, yeah. Do you believe in magic?
We need to,
You can also talk to the person who
Form the
made
ship.
this statue, Jasmine Belfont.
Oh,
Jasmine Belfont.
so made the statue or put the
She
stone
made
in
the
the
statue. She's the one who's done actually the most research on the shepherd's eye itself.
Okay.
Has there been any like forms of jewelry or anything else made from the same stone?
No.
Okay, so it's the only piece
Yep.
I
that's
think
been.
we need to call the ship
It's
and,
McGuffian.
and tell them to put
Unobtainium.
Tell them to put this eye in a magnetic bottle so it doesn't get too close to it. Keep it away from the warp core.
Impossible, right? Impossible, right?
All right.
Plutonium.
Let's go ask her about the statue in the eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jasmine's office looks like it started out as a professional studio, but has given way to a chaos of paper diagrams, rock samples, various tools, and old coffee cups. A table in the center of the room holds a scale model of what the statue that housed the shepherd looked like initially. It's truly a work of art. It's clear that Jasmine is talented. Jasmine welcomes you, though she seems a bit distracted. She was caught up in the fighting and boasts of a few grazes and bruises. And she's also distressed at the destruction of the statue. She gives you full access to her notes and geological study reports, and encourages you to follow the shepherd.
Well, okay.
Follow him where?
Jasmine, we need to know where this shepherd
Just,
is.
the shepherd will guide you, just as he's guided you here, and we will solve this issue together. The
Who
shepherd's
was
help.
the first to discover the shepherd?
She was not sure about that, but very early on. She wasn't the first, but she's had the most contact with it.
The story is a prophet of the shepherd, or
Mhm.
Can I scan her and see if she has more,
Yes,
been
scan
more
brainwaves.
affected by
You can
the-
tell that she's had the immediately.
Yeah. Okay. So,
the magic.
yeah.
Okay. Well, let's look over her notes.
The files dictate the reports of miners that there was a section here that they kind of like the prelude that was suggested to run, kind of like the before the opening credits thing. So it says, it's been a long shift. The engineers have been working tirelessly to work their way deeper into the mountains. The surface of Stalis 2 is habitable, but it's far more pleasant underground. There's a new colony that's not yet part of the Federation, and hopefully will be in the future. To strengthen relations, the crew recently delivered a batch of phaser-based excavators to assist in the colony's expansion. The crew are assisting initial deployment of this new machinery to replace the mechanical boards the engineers were using initially. The mines are well lit, the air adequately circulated and breathable. This doesn't stop the conditions being fierce. Despite the new equipment, the expertise of the crew at hand is still time-consuming work.
So they were using boring drills,
Yes.
but now they're using phasers.
Yep.
I wonder if the phaser could have added energy to this rock and activated it.
The monitoring equipment will be checking a few feet ahead at any given moment for irregularities, while also monitoring the geological structure, the material the units are breaking down. We'll also be checking for common issues such as gas pockets, unstable rock types that might lead to a potential cave-in. Once they're
Sound like
doing the
pretty
monitoring, we see
sophisticated.
some very strange readings, just as one of those manning a unit panic as it suffers an electrical breakdown amidst a shower of sparks. Somebody's caused the phaser beam to reflect back. The reading shows strange material seemed to have changed density briefly as the beam first encountered it. They just found a stone that looks like a crystal, almost glowing with a range of colors as the light catches it. It's an odd, lumpy shape, like two irregular baseballs merged together. It has a vague purple hue and seems to catch the light in interesting ways.
Blue shiny.
All the people around the stone notes an overriding feeling of bliss and happiness, an uncomfortable anger that such a beautiful thing is trapped beneath the stone. in a sense that this thing is the most precious thing ever to exist.
Dun dun dun. Okay.
Huh.
So, somewhat telepathic rock.
Betazoidian?
It seems to affect
Bezodium.
any mineral around it.
We need a Vulcan to mind meld with it. We know we have a Vulcan on the ship because we use them later on. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you. You tell the Vulcan to whatever his name was. I don't know what his name was. I don't talk to him.
I don't remember either. No. He never gets sick.
Okay.
Never comes to sick bay. Okay.
Can we... Any recent medical records of people that have been around this rock?
The same ones you've already identified. There's a few unusual brain scan readings and just this infatuation with following the shepherd. When you hear that there is an issue in the mess hall on board the Saratoga.
Of course there is.
Ah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
A full-blown fight has erupted in the mess hall on board your ship.
I guess we should go back up and...
Tables have been flipped over, punches are being thrown, and drinks being smashed. It's a chaotic mess.
Don't waste the fruit punch.
By the time you've gotten there, security have tried to defuse the brawl, but unfortunately, some of the security staff seems to have, especially the ones guarding the stone, have seemed to have started agreeing with them, the colonists.
I'm shooting this stone into the sun.
It
I was
may
gonna
be a
take-
new form of life.
It's going to take presence in
It may have
command
been a new
or
form of
insight
life.
and security with a difficulty of 3.
What, say again now?
Presence in command
That's
or
command.
insight and security, difficulty 3.
Presence, command.
I got a 13 for inside security.
I'll use my presence command. That's 13 for me.
Okay?
Okay. Want to use both? I'll assist.
Sure.
Ooh!
I'm using momentum to reroll this 20.
Uh-huh.
19 and 18.
No, I don't
So
get
no.
that.
No, we failed at this.
Fighting breaks out. There are 6 groups on each side that are 12 active combatants, 6 per side, that are shooting at each other. Your own crew are attacking one another.
I'm going to just pump knockout gas.
Yeah, I was
into
gonna say,
area
lock the
for
door.
Life support.
Okay.
I'm going with the engineering standpoint. I don't know why you want to go down there and brawl. Just
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh. When first of all, I
what
talked
you need
about
me to do.
Daring and engineering difficulty of 4.
4? You need to assist. Not me.
12 for me.
Oh. Well, I got 3.
Fair one.
I rolled a 1.
Okay.
On the magic pink die. So that's 4.
Okay. You managed to forcibly control the area, although a lot of your security officers, the ones who you put in charge of this thing, are strictly against doing anything further to it. Like, you are not going to destroy it. You're not going to.
They're all unconscious.
No, it's not everyone went down there. The ones who
Just the
were,
ones in the...
it's Captain's log supplemental.
Cafeteria.
Investigations remain ongoing, but it's apparent that the trouble in the colonists involves the new mineral discovered on Staus, too. The colonists have seemingly overnight developed a form of religious zeal for the stone, which causes a split in their society. More alarming, however, are the reports I've begun receiving the zealous nature spread to my own crew. Time has become critical now in resolving this matter. There are reports coming from all areas of the ship, ranging from simple arguments to physical fighting. Things are getting very quickly out of hand. That as long as this stone is on the ship, it's going to affect everyone.
Transport back down?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try and transport it back to the colony.
Oh, the stone, yeah.
Can we try and use the pattern buffers of our transporters in order to reconfigure our crew that have been affected to convert them back to their former selves to repair the damage in their brains?
I guess the ones that have been through recently, we could. We could also make the junior officers a little more compliant. I mean, if we're already doing transporter brain surgery.
No, we're just taking him back in time. We're not doing brain surgery.
By this stage, the corridors are mostly deserted. The ship's crew that aren't affected by the Shepherd are safely secured in their quarters or have retreated to sickbay. Otherwise, those who can fight are currently trying to get into engineering, where the colonists and the affected Starfleet officers have barricaded themselves in.
I would just want to beam it out.
The wounded and dead will litter the hallways. More scenes of destruction and confrontation. There's a lot of suggestions here about stumbling into an active battle. A lone colonist child of about 8 is wandering the corridor looking for their mother. A corpse lying in the middle of the corridor, either Starfleet or a colonist. You could come up with a suitable theory in which to deal with this, but they don't even mention the proper roles that they suggest taking in order to deal with this lab issue.
So
Their suggestion is that you're supposed to go to the engineering and stop the colonists from damaging or taking control of the ship from engineering.
Knock out gas and engineering.
Well, presumably you're already in engineering in order to knock out.
Yeah.
Beam them off the ship?
Into space?
No. It said the surface is habitable, just not great.
Yeah.
But you know, as long as this stone exists, and as long as people are nearby it, it will affect them negatively.
So we have to figure out what's the
Yeah,
proximity.
I want to beam the stone away.
Okay?
Yeah. We need to know the proximity too. How close can you get to this thing before it affects you?
Be gone, MacGuffin.
Yes.
The transporter chief has locked the transporter room.
Well, I will remotely access it through the computers. Being computer expert and transporter.
Daring and security, difficulty of 4.
I will assist you on that.
With the computer.
Really? I mean, okay, you do your thing. All right. That's okay. What's this?
That is 2 successes. Free reroll. 3 successes on my side, so that's 4.
Okay. You've managed to bypass the controls, so now it's going to be control engineering, difficulty of 3.
That I can do. Granted, I don't have the computer anymore.
I do not help.
2, 3.
Okay.
Another 1.
Where are you beaming the thing to?
Deserted part of the planet.
Okay.
I don't know if it's needed to be destroyed or not. And then immediately lock down the transporter to only my commands.
Okay.
Well,
So I don't want the
erase
ship
the
to-
last coordinates so only you know where it went.
Good idea. I like that.
There you go.
Okay.
None of our other crazed officers can transport too. Yeah.
And then see if our doctor can do anything to get them under control.
Okay.
It seems like, depending on the time that they have been exposed, the longer they have been exposed, the longer it's going to take of non-exposure for them to get back to normal. But that it is possible.
So our crew's probably going to be okay fairly quick.
Yes. But the colonists are still inside your engineering room.
The colonists really know how to use our engineering room.
Well,
They
they
said they're miners.
They can screw it up though.
True. But
Yeah.
it's like they wouldn't be able to use it against us, is what I'm saying.
Well,
I've seen kids do a lot of damage with computers.
Yeah, screw it up.
How many of them are in engineering?
10, including Sarah.
Oh, we got up was 10. Wait a minute.
No, we had
Make it
40.
40. We only brought
10
up
were
the-
injured.
I thought we only brought
10
up the
injured.
injured. Yeah.
That's why we had to
Oh, so we-
find different
oh,
sequences
okay.
of, yeah.
Can I tell with the sensors where they are in engineering?
They're right next to the controls for the warp core. This basically apparently Sarah has her hand on the button ready to eject the warp core. And threatening, I'll do it. One false move.
Okay.
You want to? I mean, we know we're going to survive.
Why would you do that? What do you hope to gain from this?
It's what the book
Yeah.
says. You're supposed to have a final battle in this, but then you just
For the Federation.
okay, let's just skip this
For the
page
Federation.
and skip this page.
Engineering our way through rather than fighting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about we take the Jeffries tubes
Yeah.
to engineering
And surprise them.
while our captain keeps them busy and talking?
Good answer. Good answer.
I hate this mission.
Oh, you're going to hate my idea worse.
No, your idea is just going to wrap this up in a way that the mission is just forcing combat down your throat. It's like, no, please stop.
So that's the thing. Star Trek had so many alternatives to combat.
Yeah, but then most of these kind of games are based around combat.
Yeah.
These are innocent civilians that have been brainwashed in some capacity, that they aren't in their full.
Tell you
And this is
what, I'll
probably
just,
not gonna
I'll
be a
just tell you
habitable-
about the stone, because a
Okay.
lot of the information doesn't really.
Well, we've been analyzing it. We should have gotten a much better analysis. of what
Analyzing the
we've been-
people that were affected by it.
Yeah.
People who were affected by it. So I think we know a lot more than.
So, the
But
Shepherd
then
is in fact a new life form, one of many that live within the terrain of Stalis 2. Silicon-based, these life forms communicate by magnetically pulling the minerals around each other. They've been dimly aware of the arrival of the colonists, but unsure what to make of them. They perceive their surroundings through magnetic energy, feeling the vibrations and movements around it. The colonists, however, found one of their kind and tried its best to communicate in the only way it knew how. It tugged and pressed the minerals around the colonists' minds, trying to persuade the humans to return to the rocks and leave it alone. The attempts at communication resulted in the colonists experiencing temporary bouts of mental instability. They became easily influenced, developing a strong affection for the stone they had found. It was decided that this beautiful stone would make a fine centerpiece for a statue, so it was handed to one of the artists to work their magic. The sculptor began carving the life form into the shape of an eye, driving it to incredible pain and causing it to cry out to its kind in the surrounding caverns. The life forms worked together to try and make their presence known to the colonists, which boosted the mild lunacy that had been developing in town. During the celebration of the new sector in the statue, the alcohol had loosened up some thoughts. The colonists began to voice to each other the beliefs that had been developing amongst them. The stone was in fact a god, something that was guiding them and keeping them safe. Those who actively prayed to the stone directly experienced surreal visions, a fantastical display of colors, an array of pleasing emotions, which they believed this to be a direct will of the shepherd. It was in fact down to their close proximity to increase suggestibility. These are all effects of the life form trying to communicate. The fighting started over a misunderstanding, but the end result was both sides believed that the other was seeking to destroy the shepherd. Sarah's goal is to get the shepherd to safety, while Anthony is taking control of the other side, managed to persuade them that the shepherd will still be watching out for them regardless of where it is. While some of the remaining colonists don't believe Andy and at present still cling to the notion as a godlike being, recognize the sense in Andy's commands and comply with the benefit of safety of everyone. The longer the shepherd remains among the colonists, the further into mania they sink. Even when the stone is safely concealed away from the group, colonists still believe in the shepherd. Given time away from the influence of life form extensive therapy, colonists can be cured. However, the stone is desperately trying to communicate with anything around it.
And now it can talk to its fellows on the other side of the planet.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I'm back!
Okay. Well, I think through all the analysis we've done and
So let's say, I just want to.
observing the colonists, and we've determined, let's say we have determined that the stone is a silicon-based life form. So we say we've done that, but we can't communicate with it yet.
I want to just figure out pulse all the displays and the lights to knock out the people in engineering without having to have a final firefight around the warp core.
Sounds good. And we know that
If you had investigated the dig site, you could have found more shepherds. It could really confuse the matter.
Well, we knew that something was wrong with this. It was like getting too close. We didn't want to get too close to this stone. We knew better. Okay.
So, like, its energy was able to even get through force fields?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
We
That
need
makes sense.
pattern enhancers on, fluctuate the frequency of the force fields, like we do with the Borg.
Well,
Wait,
we've already
can
gotten
we use
some of
this
them.
thing to develop a new phaser? And possibly a
Oh,
new
that's
drive for a
interesting.
starship.
How do we actually define life, really?
Oh boy. Try to be flexible with your players. The final scene of this act should be quite intense and dramatic. Right now your goal is to build the pressure without boxing your players into a place of frustration. To kill everyone becomes the only desperate resolution left.
Oh yeah,
We're smarter than that.
We're
Yeah.
smarter than that.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case, I'll just vent all the O2 in engineering until they pass out.
Establish the manner in which the Shepherds affecting people, come up with a suitable theory which negate that process, build a solution that enacts that theory. See the scientific method in the Starting Adventures core rulebook.
Scientific method. I'm afraid to look. Okay.
Upon completing the group challenge, the lights dim, the computer announced emergency life support has been engaged. And that's the whole point of main engineering and getting there. And
Okay.
Sounds like it'd be okay as an episode, but as a game.
yeah, it always has to be very pre-structured. You have to follow beat by beat exactly how it's written out, because that's a script. That's not a dynamic, multiple things that can happen here. It's
Like we're just watching an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Right.
And at easily 10 times during the whole episode, things could have been easily handled, fixed, if they just properly communicated.
Right.
Like, there's some lady that's able to possess people's bodies, right?
Yeah.
And they just ended up, like, they brought up a new character, a different character,
Oh, yeah.
right? And they're like, no, please, stop, don't do it.
Yeah.
And they weren't describing why they shouldn't use their mutant powers they got,
Right.
They were saying, no, stop, no, don't, run away.
Yeah.
And they should have said, this
She can
woman
take
can
people-
possess people. Don't you show her that you have powers.
Yeah.
Or what the powers are. Get out of here,
Yeah.
Yeah. So according to this, Sarah, whose mind is now jumbled with disconnected thoughts, is on her knees before the warp core, holding up the Shepherd towards it. She is sure this is the way the Shepherd can control the ship directly. Of course, it's not unless the Shepherd's will is to blow up the ship. Some other followers are surrounding Sarah, also on their knees in a state of worship, as Sarah speaks out barely coherent prayers.
Okay. So anyway, we
Already beating the
eliminate
thing out.
that because we got the shepherd away from
Initially,
it.
there's a group guarding the entrances and the group working at the various consoles, doing whatever they can to allow the Shepherd to access the dilithium crystals. The computer will announce a critical warp core failure is imminent.
Oh, yes. But we've eliminated that.
Well, we got to run that work track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me guess.
So, well, wait a minute. We can follow this because he created a fake shepherd, and she doesn't know the difference because she doesn't know how it works.
I
So
suggested
she's still
making
under
a
the
facsimile
effect.
of it.
So she's
so
got
they
a
have
fake
something to
shepherd.
worship with.
Manipulating their brains as much.
Yeah, clearly
Well,
it's not, yeah.
It's a placebo.
It's a placebo, yeah. It won't be manipulating the brains at all, but they're still affected, having the effect, so they think it's real. Anyway,
That's
So,
true. They would
we
think that they're, oh no, our God has
well,
forsaken us because we no
No.
longer are gaining these visions.
well, yeah, but they still have residual visions. They just may not.
Well, they have their thoughts.
Yeah.
They have their memories of what happened, but obviously this was
Well, no.
actively still giving
Apparently,
them.
they once they're affected, it lasts. They don't immediately become unaffected. Or else
Well, their belief lasts.
Yeah. Well, the effect lasts too. Apparently. I mean,
That's not the way he
they're-
described it. He described it when
Well,
they
no,
approached it. That's when they had the
But that's when they-
psychedelic trip.
Well, yeah, that's when they have the trip. But
Yeah,
But he also said that it manipulated, it changed their
brain chemistry. Yeah.
brain chemistry,
Yeah.
so that takes a while to undo. So they're still
Oh,
messed
sure.
up.
Oh, they're definitely messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the older, since we know that they're not going to get worse because this isn't the real one, then we can talk them down and explain to them, yes, we know about the shepherd.
Presence of command, difficulty 5.
Ah, presence of command.
Presence.
Oh my God.
Command. I have 13.
I have 12.
No.
That's okay.
You're trying to convince them that this fake rock is the one.
Okay, assist me on this.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna use momentum to re-roll this one.
No.
No.
I need a momentum to reroll mine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
I got
a
a
one.
1. So we got 3.
So we got 3 there.
Yeah, it's not 5.
I mean,
Can we have more
I have
distance?
composure,
Okay.
so that would be a total of 4 then.
And I got interrogation. I got a 1, so that would have been, that's all right.
Double anyway, so yeah.
Well, you were determined.
Oh,
Okay, I'll use a point of determination to make my 17 I rolled into a 1. Okay, look at that.
Hey.
So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
So we get a momentum back.
No.
Okay.
With Shepard safely contained, either the solution the crew initially came up with is sufficiently sustainable or a more sophisticated manner now that they'll get their bearings. The followers will be receiving medical attention. It's going to take some time for the psychological damage to completely heal, but at least they're on the road to recovery. Can't simply be dropped back onto Stalos, too, with the other colonists instantly. And there's still the consideration of the Shepard and his fellow life forms that live on the planet. Communication with the life form may be achieved through an extended scientific study, but for now the colonists will either have to abandon Stalos 2 or at least try to set up safe zones away from the life forms. As for the Shepard itself, and the rest of its kind just want to be left alone, they have little in the way of needs.
I'd like to suggest to the captain we set up a buoy saying this planet's restricted.
Yeah.
If you founded your players during the mission and viewed the Shepard as a malevolent force, then the above ending can be a nice twist. However, if they formulated the opinion the Shepard has been acting out of self-defense, it can be an equally fun twist to have them now hostile to all intruders on Stalos 2. The Starfleet solution would be to return the Shepard to the dig site and collapse the tunnel. Clear that this is certainly where it originated, but maybe suggested it's taken to a starbase initially for study. Let your players debate this and see if they come up with a logical argument one way or another, and run with that idea. Destroying the Shepards could certainly not be an option. Should certainly not be an option, but it's possible.
Do they indicate in there that it's the Shepard all over the planet or just in one location?
There's multiples
There's
all over
multiples,
underground.
Are they all situated in certain
Planet-wide.
Planet-wide.
They're
Concentrated.
planet-wide, okay. So
It's like cities.
You'll probably ought to beam that one you beamed down to at least near its own kind, so it won't be eliminated. We'll say you beamed it to one of its own kind. All right.
It's somewhere on the planet.
It's somewhere on the planet. They don't seem to have a way to
Move?
be mobile.
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
rocks.
I don't know.
They can manipulate the minerals around them.
Yeah, so it's going to make them dig its way.
Makes a little
Yeah,
rock
don't
art.
dig rock tunnel, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rock monster. Or it's rock
So,
monster.
If this mission's been run as part of a series, consider the implications going forward on board the ship. A lot of the crew will require medical review and therapy for a few weeks at least. This may also present an opportunity for the players to reassess their values. Perhaps one of the players wishes to study the new life form further, and perhaps take a role in naming it. As for Stalos 2, what happens there? While mentally and physically the colonists can recover, it may take time before they function successfully as a community. With quite a few deaths and injuries caused by the conflict, people aren't going to be as forgive as quickly as they heal.
What kind of a person wrote this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I only want to use this thing to form a power source for phasers. They can get
Oldie
through
Palmer
shields.
is the name. Oldie Palmer.
Okay.
By the way, during this, I had the thought, transporters make a heck of a weapon of war. Imagine
Yeah.
just partially beaming a group of troops. Oh look, this
Well,
is
they used
little
to-
artillery.
With the rings on the Stargate,
Yeah.
they'd shove somebody half under a ring and the top part of their body get transported.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there are several brutal ways in order to use transporters that, they don't depict in the series.
No.
While the
Federation is
Shepard,
too good for mustard gas.
while the Shepard is written to work in any era, you can change it up a bit by adjusting the race on Stalos 2 to the Klingons. Obviously, in the original series or Enterprise era, the opening prelude wouldn't work, but the trade-off would be the heightened tensions coming to the Klingons' rescue and having them welcomed on board your ship only for the chaos to ensue. Alternatively, you could have the planet recently colonized by Andorians, who perhaps are a bit more neutral to Starfleet's presence, but are still welcoming the assistance. If you chose to switch the race in this style, it would be good to include an appropriate directive. Learn more about this race, or be on your guard.
So essentially, this entire thing is written. This planet, which may or may not be named Stellos, has this rock that may or may not be alive, that's controlled by people that may or may not be human.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not very good.
Choose your own adventure.
But
That's why we bought the book.
If page 1, go to page 2. If page 2, go to page 1.
but
50 other pages are written, they gave me 5 cents a word.
But it suggested running that Deep in the Caverns prelude that I read to you before as your characters, just kind of as new characters, as engineers and tunnels. And it's like, wouldn't that reveal way too much of the story? I mean, you can expect that as an episode, as viewers, understanding
But the
something
crew
that your
would know that.
characters don't. Yeah. But then being
Wouldn't
able
that
to separate
tempt
that
us to
information.
really screw with the story?
Yeah. I mean, metagaming. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Even these other paragraphs, stell us or stall us.
I'm just thinking it's like, yeah, let's have a protracted battle and throw engineering into it.
That makes sense.
And of course, recommends buying more of their books. I'm like, please put more effort into proofreading and writing your books.
you know, that story you came up with was actually very good compared to some of these stories.
Thank you.
Very
Yes.
good.
I did quite a bit of research on Discovery itself and trying to figure out the best way of incorporating.
And for that horrible sacrifice, we thank
impressed.
you.
Yes.
You could have written the story for that book and it would have been the top story.
Probably.
Yeah.
So the question is now.
These are
that
accomplished writers too.
Well,
I
This
didn't
is
know those
supposed to be,
things.
yeah.
It's supposed to be.
Do we want to kill the stream or just keep talking on the stream?
We can keep talking.
Okay.
I mean, Shadowrun next week?
Sounds
You already
good.
have pre-gen characters. If you want to look at which
How
one
do
you want to pick, you open
Hand
the box.
in the box.
Hand in the box.
Hand you the box.
Oh.
Yes. I'm going to take GM screen
And show
off.
us what the.
Oh my gosh, he's
That's pretty-
exposing him! So,
See, nobody got to see your market communicator.
yay. Anyways, Shadowrun, 6th World Beginner Box. You can be Frostburn, an Orc Combat Mage. You, an Elf Covert Ops Specialist face.
Wait, you?
You
We
who?
can have you in the group?
You
can go back.
Zip File, a Dwarf Decker. Rude, a Troll Street Samurai.
Ah.
So, which one sounds of interest? You've played the game before, you kind of know what a Decker, a Face, a Mage, and a Samurai do.
I think you should maybe take
Right.
the either the Street Samurai or the
Zip file.
or
Decker. Or
the
you.
Covert Ops, because
Yeah.
it wouldn't require magic or technology.
Okay.
That might be good.
Uh-huh.
You is you. So,
That could be you.
Frostburn,
Oh, boy.
Zip File, or Rude?
Wait a minute, he's got
Pretty-
Which would
broken
be your
ears.
preference?
Okay.
You want to be Combat Mage or Decker?
Hey, you picked the one of the two. What do you want?
And I'll take Decker.
Decker? Okay, Combat Mage.
Yeah, Samurai's boring.
Obviously. Anyways, in the very back, it does include full instructions on tests, combat rounds, sample actions, rules for combat. So, very helpful list of things you can do as your character. At the inside, it shows your general character sheet. You probably want to have a little piece of paper on the side to not write directly on it to keep track of your condition monitor and other things.
So did you say this is supposed to be a little bit simpler than the original?
It's still very similar.
Yeah.
So they mentioned the actions like during your combat round, you have one minor action and one major action, plus one additional minor action for each of your initiative dice.
This runs with all D6s?
Yes.
Yes. You know, the matter.
5s and 6s are successes, 1s are glitches.
Yeah.
Only if you have more, half or more 1s
Yeah.
in your roll. So there's also a little example mission in here. So it says like Root tells the Game Master he wants to look around and see if there are any Knight Errant officers nearby. Game Master asks him to roll Perception plus Intuition. Root does so and gets 6, 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 6. 4 hits. The Knight Errant officers aren't really trying to be stealthy. You can't have a visible police presence when no one can see you. So the Game Master rules that Root can see 3 beat cops hanging out by the entrance to the Seattle Underground. When Root inspects Mr. Sato, he tells the Game Master he's looking specifically for whether his prospective employers carry any concealed weapons. And rolls Perception and Intuition again, and gets 6, 6, 5, 1, 1, 4, 2, 3 hits, and lets us see the pistol that Sato is carrying. So they have tips of how to roleplay the particular character, the background, vital contacts. and the general quick start rules, along with the instant guide to the sixth world, basically saying how in 2011 magic reappeared. It has a full guide of the history. And this game is set in 2079, 2080? 2080, yeah. So 5 years after the previous game.
Maybe they finally finished that space bridge thing.
I would hope. I'll probably look through the core rulebook and maybe the supplemental books to see if they have any bloody spaceships. Because that really messed up my custom campaign of wanting to, you know, although I just kind of, overlooked it. But it's like, you have all this other stuff of planets and spacesuits and space combat, yet you have no ships. No ships.
No way to get there.
Yeah.
So, right now, looking at this character, I see a massive problem. The primary weapon is a Walther palm pistol.
Okay.
Nothing says geek the mage like holding an itty bitty pistol into combat.
That's kind of the point. Regardless of whether you're using that pistol or spells or not, it's geek the mage.
Yes.
Yes.
The minute you see the least armed person walk up, look like the complete badass of the group, you geek them.
Yes.
You put a round through their head and you move on. Because the street samurai, you know what you're getting. Do we want to grab the gear cards and see if we all
Oh yeah, right here.
can sort them out?
Here.
I at least have a heavy pistol.
It says in the bottom left your
On that top.
yeah, those are all the gear cards you should have.
I know I have to figure out where is it.
Pretty sure they designed it so that each one has their own unique set of stuff, so they don't have to share cards.
Ares Light Fire 75 pistol.
Only that?
There you go. It's under the
Okay.
It's the Star Trek stuff.
yes. Side. As many D6s
I have an
as
armor
possible.
vest.
Armor vest. Naku Sensei comment?
I got a lined coat. Doesn't sound very practical.
Well, multiple of us have lined coats.
Yeah.
So the biggest difference I noticed, at least as far as you have initiative rank and initiative dice. So you have a base initiative, and then you roll your initiative dice to add to it. And instead of subtracting 10, like you did at the old version of the game, you just keep the straight, and you don't have like second turns. Remember how we used to, if anything above 10 would be subtracted, and then people who still had initiative would go again?
Oh, yeah.
It's not a thing anymore. You just roll and you just go through the whole cycle repeatedly until the combat's over. Which I think is better in the end, but
Yeah, it's a little less confusing.
so they have getting into the action. To buy hits instead of rolling dice, you calculate one hit for every 4 dice you have, rounded down.
That
See
sounds
what you have.
like previous.
Yep,
There's the rest of those. They're mainly spells or foes.
right. So you got all your cards sorted.
What I can find it.
So edge can be accumulated up to a limit of 7.
Here's the lined coat.
Once you have 7, you can earn no more until you've gotten rid of some of them. Edge accumulated over your base rank goes away when you complete any ongoing computation, which includes combat, hacking, social persuasion, really any scenario where bonus edge might be accumulated. Edge can be gained during combat or during hacking by having an attack rating or defense rating 4 higher than an opponent's, or by having a clear advantage in a social situation. Edge can also be awarded by the Game Master if they feel circumstances of positioning, visibility, give a character a clear advantage, or if they feel a character has made a especially good or winning decision.
Got my light gun and line coat.
So, with spending 1 edge point, 1 edge boost, you can re-roll 1 die afterwards. So it has pre, post, and at any time. Determinate, you can spend these momentum / edge points. Yeah. So you can re-roll 1 die. It can be yours or the opponent's, the matter the second roll stands. Or you can add 3 to your initiative score. This one kicks in before combat even starts. You can choose to spend 1 point of your initiative to increase your initiative score by 3. 2 edge points. You can add 1 to a single die roll, you can turn a 4 into a 5, or make a 1 into a 2. Best uses to either make it a hit or avoid a glitch. You can give an ally 1 edge, so you spend 2 points to give an ally 1 edge on their turn. Or you can negate 1 edge of a foe by spending it before they get to. With 3 edge points, you can buy 1 automatic hit, or you can heal 1 box of stun damage. With 4 edge points, you can add edge to your dice pool, so you add your base edge rating as a dice pool bonus to your roll, and make 6s explode.
6s explode?
Exploding means 6s are reroll. We had that in the previous version of the game.
Yeah.
So every time you roll a 6, you roll it again, and those hits keep counting.
Oh. Okay.
And the hits keep coming.
Which we had to have 4 edge points in order for that to happen.
Yeah.
You can also heal 1 point of physical damage, or reroll all failed dice.
I think I got all the cards for you that are available.
Okay.
With 5 edge
Missing
boosts,
something?
Not really.
I mean, like, there's a bunch of like side equipment that there's no cards for, I guess. Like disguise kit, first aid kit, contacts, line. Oh, wait, you go over the line code and pass key. Yeah.
Right.
Something like that.
5 edge boosts, you can count 2s as glitches for the target, or you can create a special effect. Bring your creativity to the table.
So, how do the non-player type opponents, do they have edge too?
They do.
Can you force them to use up their edge?
Depends on whether they want to or not. It's not like momentum and threat in the sense that they have the same abilities to use it as much as you do. So if they want to re-roll dice, they can spend their edge.
Yeah. Now my theory would be to keep them from getting it at edge and make them use it up so they have a disadvantage.
And so each of these things have, like, for example, most ranged attacks would be firearms plus agility. So that's how many dice you would roll. Which is what makes this game so broken the higher points you have. I roll 30 dice.
Just don't crash, man.
See, firearms plus ability.
It just seems like the more dice you have, the more likely it is for them to roll ones. You know?
Feel it, bro. Feel it.
So this is a list of sample actions. As minor actions, you can drop an object, you can move, stand up, command your drone, drop prone, reload a smart gun, or take cover.
I want to drop soup on
Does that have in there the rules for drain?
For drain, let's see, damage value, attack range, first aid, damage overflow. Oh, another good thing about this version, magic healing does not negate first aid.
Good.
You can use them both.
You can use them both. They don't
stack.
have like
Before
they
it mattered
stack.
which order you used them in.
They stack. So
Now it doesn't matter anymore. You can use both.
Huh.
They also have the elements of the Matrix, cyberdecks, personas, icons, attack sleeves, data processing firewall, Overwatch score, which has a very different meaning since that Overwatch game came out, but you know. Programs and a whole list of illegal and legal actions, and how to edit files, and rigging, vehicle rigging, tests and driving, control rigs, vehicle speed, Matrix actions, magic, drone combat, drone initiative, crashing.
This is why, and it kind of needs stressed when it comes to playing this game. When playing Shadowrun, you need to read over your character's stuff.
You need to know exactly how to do things.
Right.
It's,
Because asking the GM, especially on one that's just coming out, to know all of it.
yeah. Ain't gonna happen. I didn't even know all of it when we were running Shadowrun 5th edition the entire time.
Right, and the whole idea was read your area.
Here we go. Each spell has a drain value which may be increased by adjustments the caster makes. Caster rolls magic plus an attribute determined by their tradition and compares the hits to the drain value of the cast spell. The attribute is logic for hermetic mages, charisma for shamans. In the case of Frostburn, the combat mage has a logic.
Okay.
If the hits are equal to or greater than the drain value, the drain has no effect. If the drain is higher than the hits, the caster experiences stun damage equal to the difference between the hits and drain value.
So it was magic or magic resonance plus logic for Frostburn.
Yes.
Okay.
It's on the back part here with the gameplay tables are.
It is annoyingly magic plus appropriate attribute.
Logic.
It does not say logic.
No, well, it's
It's supposed to be customized for that character.
Yeah.
Again, parentheses, like in this case. So, drain damage cannot be healed by magic, medkits, or anything besides rest. Roll body plus willpower every hour. Heal 1 box of stun damage. Shadowrun spells are divided into 5 categories: combat, detection, health, illusion, and manipulation. So they have a range, touch, LOS means caster means a physical line of sight to the target, or a special, it means a range defined in the write-up of the spell. Duration, instantaneous, sustained, or permanent. Type, either mana or physical. And the drain value, base value, casters must resist to avoid experiencing drain. If it can be increased if casters amp up their spells or increase the area effect is noted under adjust the spell. Combat spells, the caster's attack rating is magic plus her tradition attribute. Defense ratings as normal. Direct combat spells roll sorcery plus magic, opposed by intuition plus willpower of the targets. Indirect combat spells, sorcery plus magic versus willpower plus reaction. Detection spells, sorcery plus magic as opposed by body plus logic when the targets are biological, obstacle resistance when they are not.
I also noticed they did not include spirits in this version.
Yeah, that makes things a lot easier.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an army of spirits that can go through walls.
Oh, not there anymore.
Alright, so spells.
Although it seems like a lot of the information would carry over if you just had the core rulebook, and a lot of the supplements from the 5th edition would be like, yeah, you could cross out a few things here and there that no longer apply, but yeah.
Now, according to this, let's see. This gives you the stats for the weapon in their thing, but they made a mistake. What's 2P? DV?
2 physical?
2 physical. Okay. Mode is SA. What's that?
Semi-automatic.
Semi-automatic. Okay.
Those things are on the back of the book.
It shoots
Right,
2
they're in the
bullets,
book,
decrease
too.
attack rating by 2, and increase damage
Well,
by
the
1.
mistake they made was they got close as 10, near is 7, medium is 6, and far, according to the card, is a dash, so it doesn't have a
Doesn't
far.
increase that far.
It doesn't have
And
a far
this
range.
has far as 6.
The booklet has 6,
So the
yeah.
booklet is wrong. But logically, it would be lower than 6 for sure. Okay.
I wonder if they changed up the. It's on the back here. Let me see.
Okay, so this has a silencer too.
Mine also has an error. My card says that my
Hold on.
Ruger Super Warhawk that has a mode of SA, semi-automatic, but according to the paper, it shows mode dash. Doesn't have a mode. Or, it's a single shot, I suppose.
But it's nice that a lot of this information has been condensed at the very end to a series of reference tables. So you have like edge boosts, sample actions, combat rounds, special guidelines, and the next page is combat step-by-step, special rules, social edge. So instead of having to look through the entire book for each section, they do have even the character reference tables for all of the characters you could be playing. It has all the information listed here too.
Okay, so does it also have the weapons there and their stats?
Core combat gear, Walter Palm pistol, holdout DB, 2P, 12-7 --.
Huh.
Wow.
So, okay, so the close 10, what does that mean? You roll 10 die? What? What
No.
does it mean to close 10? Is that a accuracy or damage or what?
Okay, so Once hits are tallied, call it a success or a miss based on whether the attacker got more hits or defender. If a success, add the net hits to the base damage value of the weapon.
The base damage.
So in your initial attack,
Yeah.
the extra hits above their defense
Yeah.
become extra damage when you roll damage for the weapon. The damage is just flat out. Let's see. So it depends on which firing mode you're using too. For single bullet, no changes to weapon attributes. Note that the weapon's stat block single shot is never displayed as it's always assumed. Semi-automatic is 2 bullets. You decrease the attack rating by 2 and increase the damage by 1.
What's the attack rating referred to? Accuracy or what?
The I'm not sure.
I mean, is that the number? Like close is 10, near is 7? Is that attack rating?
That's range. I mean, that's.
It's range, but what does that number mean?
What does DP mean?
Well,
Dice value?
It said, well, 2P.
DV is damage
DV is damage.
because mine is 2 physical.
2 physical.
Those
Go ahead,
burst
P.
fire.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense,
that
yeah.
means 2 die you roll for the damage?
Okay, just wait till this turn. Move my
We said
hand.
it was just flat damage.
And as far as your you can soak some damage depending on if you have armor that has damage rating. So you roll that many dice, and however many successes you get on that reduces the amount of damage.
Well, that's for your armor. But what,
Well, I mean, it's saying if you
saying when you
hit
make an
them,
attack.
they get to reduce damage if they're wearing
Yeah.
armor. If they hit you, you're wearing armor.
right. But what is that DV2P? Is that 2 per physical, but that's that 2 is referring to what? How many die you roll? Or how many die you add to...
Or is that just flat damage?
Let's see.
Actually, it'd be more convenient if it's just that much damage. So roll 2
That's
dice,
the
chance they're
defense
going
rating.
to get any damage.
Attack rating. Not that nonsense. Okay, so the example here is negotiations are broken down, and Yu has to break out his sidearm and encounter a particularly aggressive ganger punk. For step 1, his dice pool is firearms 4 plus agility 6, so 10 dice. The ganger will be rolling reaction 2 plus intuition 2, so 4 dice. In step 2, the lighting and environment conditions are the same for each combatant, so no edge is gained this way. Yu is at near range with an attack rating of 9, while the ganger's defense rating is 4. That's a difference of 5, so Yu gets a bonus edge point. So depending on what range you
Sorry,
are,
this
that
is
number
7, but okay.
is how you determine the attack rating versus defense rating.
Okay, then. So it's close to be a 10.
Yes.
So anyway, all right. But then, okay, it doesn't say what the...
That gives you a bonus edge point if it's 4
Okay.
or more
Right.
than their defense.
Okay.
Although it seems like in some ways this is more complicated, and in other ways it's less complicated. So
So wait, okay.
the numbers beside each of these
In the range.
are the attack rating. So
Okay,
at
so that's
close,
the attack rating.
yeah.
So okay, so with my heavy
Just
pistol,
straight
close
down.
is 8, 11 for near, and 8 is 8 again, and medium is 8. So
Okay.
I ideally want to shoot somebody at near range, which is 4 to 50 meters.
I just need to point out a paragraph in here.
Yeah.
And I'm sorely disappointed that they put it in here in a pre-gen with what I like to do in Shadowrun. In extended battles, Frostburn will summon spirits to fight on her behalf, or resort to firearms to minimize strain. Though she'll happily take pot shots with her trademark elemental spells if she gets the chance. She also frequently uses astral projection to scout targets during the planning stage of a run.
Okay. But you don't have spirits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why tease that if it's not part of the
Exactly.
available?
I don't know, a lot of these things people just copy over from the previous edition or something else, and it's just like, that's why it's so difficult to make a game like this, because you need so many proofreaders and so much.
Well, I mean, this is just get it going.
Yeah.
And this is give you an idea of the rules.
Yeah.
But potentially could
Box
happen.
sets are what they are, and sometimes they're released even before some errata got figured out.
Yeah.
So,
So what are the two things I'd use for if I was using my pistol? I mean, as far as count how many dice?
Firearms and agility.
Fire.
It should be listed on the back page. You don't have
On
to
the
write
back
anything.
page.
Yeah, look at the back.
Oh.
It should have all your stuff listed off.
Yeah.
This is what you do. This is how you do it.
Now,
Okay.
let's see.
Unlike
right
him,
here.
unfortunately, did not
So
mention
attacker,
everything that was
appropriate weapon
appropriate.
skill, and
In your
agility.
case, is logic.
Oh,
Why didn't it
okay.
say that?
I found it back in this
Appropriate
example
weapon.
run.
Oh, okay.
You got to read the whole thing, but it's not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It gives you a guide for edge boosts and tests and special combat rules.
So okay, under the skills, what is RTG and DP?
Skills?
I understand that. Well, yeah, I understand ATT would be attribute.
Yeah.
So I like firearms would be an agility-based attribute. But it also says type.
Rating. RTG is rating.
Rating.
And
TP would be how many dice?
yeah, dice pool.
DP.
Dice
Dice pool. Okay.
Okay. So mine would be 5 plus.
Well, according to this, I get 8 plus 6. My agility is 6. My DP is 8 for firearms. That's a bunch of dice.
Firearms and agility, according to this, is 4 and 6.
Which is which?
For him?
Yeah. For you.
This says DP of 8.
So wait a minute.
D. What does it say?
Dice pool. Firearms. Rating 2. Attribute agility.
Yeah.
And type is A too. I don't know what type is. And that's agility.
Agility again, yeah. And then
Okay.
DP it says
8.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, 8 there.
Yeah.
But over there it says for his firearms,
4.
DP 4.
Yeah. I mean, I'll check in the back here.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying there, yeah.
Uh, this is firearms 3.
For my character?
Yeah. Oh no, that's sorry, Frostspring. For you,
For you, yes.
firearms is 2.
2.
2
Wait a
A8.
minute.
2 A8.
2A8. Well, it's this. Our rating is 2. A is an attribute, and DP is 8.
Action.
DP is 8.
Yeah, 2A8.
So it is the same thing.
So
okay.
the third number, the third one there, the 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yet the other one says it was.
So rating
maybe,
of 2, just
maybe-
diploid.
okay.
I don't know.
Dice boy.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
So you're going to try to get 14 dice, according to that.
That's a good number of dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we only have 8
And
dice.
according to the quick gameplay rules in here, contacts are pretty much just given opportunities for edge. So you don't actually get any like information from them or anything. You don't actually, they're not NPCs to talk to, but you may have an edge in a certain area if that contact is.
So it's no longer a matter of how close is your relationship with them
No.
and how influential are they.
Right. It's simpler to,
Yeah.
It's simpler,
yeah,
but it's not quite as entertaining as,
Yeah.
you know,
building up a character and repertoire and stuff.
exactly.
But
you
the
know.
contact, like I got a cyber surgeon street dog contact. Does that mean
If you
You
need
get a
somebody
feeling-
who knows about cyber surgery in the area, you get an edge
you get an edge?
because you know someone.
So if you get enough edge, you can heal yourself.
If you have edge, you can use these things.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
use those things. You can heal yourself, in theory. And then there's a fixer and a waitress. What's a fixer do? I forgot.
The type of person that is able to get you gear,
Oh, okay.
fix you up,
Ah.
with equipment. So I have Arclight, a combat mage, and coordinator of the Black Star Neo-Anarchist Shadowrunner Collective.
Okay.
Casey Connors, owner of the Cathode Glow. I'm assuming it's probably like a bar or something sort.
Yeah, they have a full map of Seattle in
Yeah.
here, along with destinations you can go to.
And Jules McGuire, a Cascade Orc smuggler.
And also individual locations on the other side.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of thing I kind of want to try and make for our game, basically Dayton.
So I like.
But Dayton is nowhere near as interesting as Seattle.
Oh, well. It's got to be a simple game, that's why. The world has been messed up, you know?
Except when people get
It's simpler.
shot.
Well, yeah. That's,
Yeah, that.
So I do like this under the edge spending.
Uh-huh.
How it's not until you spend 4 edge that the 6s explode,
Mm-hmm.
whereas that was a huge
Thing.
time
Yeah.
in fifth.
Yeah.
That right there is probably cut a couple minutes out of each thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
If you spend that much and you don't get to reroll and you don't have any 6s to reroll, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you see Seattle Metroplex, downtown, Northwest North America, because that's all that matters in Shadowrun. We don't care about anywhere else.
So chances are, if you only had 1 6, you wouldn't do the 4 edge. But if you had like 4 6s, you do the 4 edge and get more
If you can roll it afterwards.
if you can.
So there's a full list of the locations. They have 92 locations. The last one that says you should not eat so much.
Why are you looking at me when you said that, David?
Okay. So this looks like cyber equipment. Instead of getting like massive modifiers, just modifies who gets the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Well, this is going to spend a lot faster than momentum.
Yeah.
Where is the Cathode Glow?
Be a TV.
These aren't in alphabetical order, so I have to go through. Or are they? I guess they are.
Who's alphabet?
I'm not seeing the name. Edge. The eye of the needle. Cutting edge. Oh, I'm sure a lot of people probably confuse the edge and the cutting edge.
Oh.
Because there's just similar names. Like, oh, you meant to go to the cutting edge. That's just next door. There's Club Penumbra, which I know the obsession people have had recently with Club Penguin shutting down. It's like, Club Penumbra.
Well, and why, like, okay, on the front page it's got quotes here, right? So, how can you support a system that pays us to destroy itself?
Can I see the rulebook real quick?
Ish,
The what?
that is
Yeah.
Viz, and the triumphant Vuvuzela noise.
Vuvuzela.
Vuvuzela noise. Because, of course, that will still be relevant in 100 years.
Oh. Okay. Oh,
So, do you remember that?
They can't hit, but they can't see. Remember Our team can handle the tough jobs, Mr. Johnson. The question is, are you willing to pay a premium price for premium work? Roguish Green.
But you're not a rogue, you're a face. And what's the last part say there? Ghoulish credit.
Roguish Green.
So the first scene, to give you a little idea of how this Battle Royale venture will happen, is called But I Just Wanted Some Dragon Pea.
Sounds like a strong drink to me.
I think O'Malley's going to have to come back at this at some point, you know, because he's such a popular character from the previous campaign, right? Right? Yeah?
O'Malley, how do you say?
O'Malley. Oh,
yes.
He's the orc who painted himself green because he didn't want, you know,
Okay.
had the mahogany table and ran the underground place, yeah.
Okay.
Roll back, yeah.
So we don't worry about things like what languages are taught.
Yeah, that used to be a thing too.
Mm-hmm. And we're probably going to define appropriate miniatures for each of the characters, although there is going to be an official unpainted set of like 5 miniatures for each of the main character types and races, but...
Which I can now paint.
Yes.
Hopefully they don't require assembly like the Star Trek ones do.
No, they're pictured as being fully assembled and ready to paint.
Good.
Yeah. That's $50 for like 5 or 6 figures though, so...
Ooh.
Yeah.
Even the Star Trek one, which did require assembly,
Yeah,
at
that
the
doesn't, yeah.
Bigger Fantasy, there was at least, what, 10 in there, I think?
Yeah,
At least,
quite a few. Well, they did look highly detailed from what I could tell in the photo.
Well, yeah, you have professionals paint it.
Well, no, I mean, they weren't painted, but they were highly detailed miniatures.
Okay, yeah.
And I guess they were the...
Did you want to tell him any more about the videos we saw about the 3D printer?
Oh yeah.
Well, we saw more videos of people working with that Orange 10
Right.
3D printer we showed you before. And then it did show up on Amazon again, but it was an extra like $40 more expensive than it was before. So I'm like, I'll wait until it sells out, and then it just keeps fluctuating in price every time. It like comes back and leaves. And there's also like temporary like coupon offers, so like at checkout you can get $20, $30 off. And it's like, well, that kind of defeats the purpose of the more expensive unit in the first place.
Yeah.
And like. But at least as far as the build thing goes, the actual is a glass pane underneath the build plate that you can, and they add more like cellophane or other kind of covers so you don't actually affect the screen underneath with the UV lights. But that the builds were, they showed close up. Every one of them, except one of them had like a couple of imperfections, but otherwise they were just like spectacular. Larger quality and really, really detailed for what they were doing.
Well, even then, they even tried making some small things because, like, the one guy had some a child that had a dollhouse.
Yeah.
And so
they printed out some furniture. And it looks amazing.
Maybe particular reason you want a resin one rather than a...
we can use the resin we already have, and apparently the resin ones are best known for miniatures. If they're properly designed, like this one apparently is, it does the detail work that the spool ones can't do.
Really?
Yeah.
So what happened to the one you have?
It's still up there.
It's right there, actually.
Yeah, it's
up
right
there.
It's right up there.
Oh, does it work still? Or?
Yeah. It's just a matter of as many tests as we can try to do to get it to work. The generic like login software that has to work with any old web browser is not precise enough to add like the one that Mac and Windows software that adds the struts, that loads in the appropriate, that knows exactly what it's printing to.
Right.
Well, that and I don't know, we might want to. I think it does come with its own
bottle. Comes with a small bottle.
Yeah.
So it might be probably that. Also, it's just playing the quality of the print itself.
And it uses different types of resin too, not just the standard stuff, but also uses the dental and the PVC type, so you can make really sturdy miniatures.
It has a higher resolution than one we already have.
Yeah.
Basically, ours was sort of a beta test. This is okay. There have been a couple of models made already, several models made already. They have it more prepared.
The same type of design with the build plate and stuff, but much more advanced.
Yep. Sounds interesting. Good to get yours in order in just the right moment, I guess, when you get all the discounts.
Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for.
Best price, yeah. And then we need to be able to learn how to do 3D model.
It shouldn't be that difficult. You got Macs.
There's also a device, talking about that PlayStation Classic, that's like $120 that's supposed to be like a 11-inch 1080p screen that can be battery powered. It's just like a small tote bag that you can actually put a PlayStation Classic or any other portable device that uses HDMI and power the entire thing with a portable charging bank and play it on the go. and it's big enough to hold controllers and the device and the screen. Just it props up and have different viewing angles. But so I also thought about because I've seen at least Amazon currently has the PlayStation Clash for like $35, but it's gone as low as 20. And it's like I'd probably order another one just to get 2 extra controllers and have a powered USB hub to have 4 controller games.
Okay. Well, anyway.
I'll stop the stream and
Alright, you want to go stop stream?
go stop the stream. This is a very short game.
We haven't got any contact yet about our uncle and cousins about coming over again, so we don't know when that's going to be.
Don't know when
so as far as we know now, Monday.
Next Monday. Until next time, happy gaming. Bye-bye.
You got a place you want